begin. So I know. Thank you for accepting the video interview with our channels. Yeah, and it's a great honor to to represent your VeChain in a great project to our Korean viewer around the world.
Thanks.
Okay, so I will start to ask questions. So a lot of our subscribers, shouldn't already know about the VeChain project. But can you give us a brief overview of what it is, the VeChain, and what VeChain is trying to achieve?
Actually, we started the VeChain project since 2015, and we spent 2 or 3 years in the past to work on some blockchain solutions for different enterprises or different use cases in multiple different industries, including some big names like Renault, BMW in automobile, DIG for wine and spirits, Givenchy for luxury retailing, and several others also. And we devote ourselves to build up, let's say, blockchain applications for real businesses. We try to transform this, amazing technology, this new disruptive technology, to be live applications for different, let's say, commercial activities. In the past 3 years, we work as a consortium blockchain, but in early 2017, we had 2 major discoveries based on the experiences. The first one is, working in a consortium blockchain, it feels like, you're working in a LAN network, but actually the future will be like the internet. It should be the public blockchain. I'm not saying like consortium blockchain will not have a future, will not exist in the future, but somehow, any kind of applications on the blockchain eventually will link to the public blockchain somehow. So we try to convert or try to migrate our applications or use cases for different industries to be some public blockchain. And then we had, the second discovery is for the existing public blockchain, not really fulfill our requirement. Very interesting to see, even everybody in the world believes blockchain is going to change the world, like internet did in the past 30 or 40 years. However, we barely see any real or like commercial applications, massive applications on any existing blockchains, even like Ethereum. Right now, Ethereum should be the most powerful and longest time blockchain with the smart contract functionalities, but we only see like ICOs or CryptoKitties.
Yeah, that's right.
That kind of applications on Ethereum. So we discuss with lots of our partners, business partners, even like the biggest one like PwC or DNVGO. They also have, multiple or 80, like DNVGO, they have 80,000 different enterprises as their customers. So we talk to them, try to find out, why those enterprises doesn't want to build up application on this kind of public blockchains or any existing public blockchains. And we summarize three major concerns from the customer, from enterprises or business owners, let's say. So VeChain is trying to build up, the new or next generation of public blockchain to solve those 3 major concerns of the enterprises. So until now, we just launched the public testing for mainnet a couple of days ago. And, we also released our white paper 2-3 weeks ago or so. We devote ourselves to build up a next generation public blockchain to be able to host any kind of enterprise applications or commercial applications for business owners, not only for enterprise, but also for individuals. Anyone who wanted to build up application for the real business, to change the real world, bring the real value to the world, welcome to the VeChain.
Oh, so that's very interesting concept because the a lot of Korean viewer they just think if they hear heard the VeChain project, they think VeChain as a kind of some tracking blockchain kind of tracking kind of applications like a wine like the tracking some the handbag the genuine handbag kind of stuff, but you just the said that VeChain literally want to build kind of public owned VeChain blockchain, right?
Yeah.
So based,
that's why. Yeah, that's why in August 2017 we launched the ICO with the kind of the new concept is we're gonna build up the next generation of public blockchain. Honestly, I'm aiming VeChain to be very strong competitor of Ethereum, but what I can just say, we are much better, honestly. Because we are targeting, we analyze and we targeting the three major concerns for most of the enterprises to use or to build up application on the public blockchain. So if you allow me, I can elaborate those three major concerns and also our solutions to each one.
Okay, go ahead, sir. Yeah, go.
Yeah. So the first one, the first concern is about the governance model. Because when you look at all of the public blockchains, like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, or any other networks, everybody believes in decentralization, right? This is like cornerstone of blockchain technology. However, the decentralization means lack of efficiency, lack of the decision making. So when we look at the Bitcoin in the past 10 years, you don't see any kind of the upgrades. Well, I have to correct that. In the very early stage of Bitcoin, there is upgrades actually done by Nakamoto Satoshi. But when the mystery guy or the god, let's say, disappeared, and no upgrades can be made anymore.
There was some upgrades, sir. Maybe the Lightning Network, that kind of stuff. They try to build up the speed,
I kind of consider this is not really upgrades. It's kind of like a different forks.
Okay.
ECH, right? Bitcoin Cash. They have the different solution, and Bitcoin Core Group has a Lightning Network. So it kind of creates that different forks for that. The reason you just made the right point about that is because it's not really about the technology, it's really about the governance. The whole community of Bitcoin is very difficult to achieve some kind of consensus, like let's go this way, go that way. Right? Different ideas or different opinions. So this kind of thing, also if you look at Ethereum, in March of 2017, Vitalik was doing a presentation in Paris, in a DevCon in Paris, to state like, Ethereum is going to change the consensus from POW to POS. But even now, it's still like stuck in the middle of nowhere. Honestly, I think it's going to be very, very difficult for the Ethereum community as well. Just think about that. All of those miners invest so much money in the miners, right? What they do, they don't approve or they don't like the idea like, oh, we're gonna change to POS like that.
Yeah, because they're gonna lose their profit, right? If they change the use the proof of stake, right? And
they were like, okay, what can I do with my miners? I spend like millions of dollars in that.
Yeah, to set up their the infrastructures, right?
So anyway, when we talk to the different enterprise, they feel like if they wanted to build up some application, or even they want to migrate some business processes, to be on blockchain, they are not looking for 3 months or 6 months, that kind of the short time. They're looking for build up applications can serve for the next 3 or 5 years, even 10 years.
Okay.
So for any kind of the system project or software, they want it to be iterated all the time. How do we make sure we can like have a right governance to make that happen? Okay. So VeChain solution is we don't believe in like a total decentralization.
Okay.
Even I understand the benefits of decentralization, but we also need to recognize the benefits or the good points about the centralization. Like you can make the decision quickly. You can keep upgrading. You can guide to the right direction and not distracted by the different voices. So our solution is to try to find a balance between decentralization and centralization. So we set up a steering committee with 7 people on board. Right now, the first term of steering committee has 3 people from VeChain Foundation.
Okay.
Also have, original VeChain team, myself, CFO, and the chief scientist.
Okay.
And so we got 2 people from DMVGO. And 1 people from PwC.
Okay.
And people from City University of Hong Kong as academic representatives.
What is the DMVGO? What is that? Can you explain?
DMVGO is actually one of our biggest partners.
Okay.
DMVGO is actually a $3 billion company.
Oh, $3 billion. Wow.
They got a headquarters in Oslo, in Norway.
Wow.
But actually, they're everywhere in the world. They're providing the business assurance service. For example, the ISO 9001.
Yes, the quality kind of some.
Exactly. And they also kind of like a standard maker for carbon emission rules for United Nations. So they're quite big. They serve like 80,000 different customers in the world, including like Airbus, Coca-Cola, even Alibaba in China. They have so many different customers around the world.
Okay.
So we really evaluate their partnership, and they also want to contribute a lot to VeChain ecosystem. So that's why they got 2 seats. They basically those 7 people were like founder members of VeChain Foundation, of VeChain ecosystem.
But when I heard that kind of governance model for the VeChain, the public blockchain, but it's kind of general. People think that but 7 people basically they're gonna some decide they're gonna confirm the VeChain the blockchain kind of stuff, basically govern the blockchain. So only 7 people. So is there any kind of dominant the issue? Maybe only 7 people control.
That's why the governance model also have the secondary part, which is the community, which is token holders.
Okay.
So the token holder will vote. Every token holder will have a right to vote for any fundamental changes or decisions of each ecosystem.
Okay.
But once decision has been made by those voting process, and the steering committee will be responsible for execution. With questions. So that means we maintain the decentralized part about the voting process for publicity, for transparency, but also we maintain the centralized part like steering committee. They will for execution.
I see.
Without any kind of the lack of efficiency or slowness or something like this.
Wow, so that's the some kind of great solution, because for some decision parts, you guys give the 100% kind of right to the some VeChain community, right? Voting rights, and the other 7 people community, right? VeChain, some the governance people, the group organizations, their only job is just some decide, just to execute their some decision, right? Okay. So you guys can catch the both, right? One for the just the public the consensus, right? And the other from the some 7 organizations. You guys can get a speed, right? And the efficiency. Right. Okay, that's the great solutions. Wow, yeah.
Well, I like. I'm glad you like it.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, but also the balance. Okay. Our philosophy is the decentralization doesn't mean disorganization. If you want to do a great things, or if you want to make this kind of a global transformation or implement the disruptive technology like blockchain to help the real world, you have to be organized. You cannot be like totally like every freestyle, like everybody just do whatever they want to do. But also we need to be organized. So our target is to find a balance between decentralization and centralization, and in the different stages. Maybe in the earliest stage, when we found this team, when we start this team, we're a little bit centralized. But when the ecosystem or when the community grows up and be more and more mature, we're gonna give up more rights in the steering committee, but give to the community. But anyway, it's gonna be long-term run. We're gonna always try to find a balance between those two sides. And I give you an example. If I did something wrong, if I, as the chairman of the VeChain Foundation, if I made some huge mistakes or whatever, if I harm the ecosystem, the whole community can vote me out and say, hey, he did some bad job, let's vote him out. And if the decision is like that, I will be out.
Even you are the chairman, there's no exceptions.
There's no exceptions. So, if you got time, you can look at our white paper released like 3 weeks ago. There are many details about how we're going to manage the foundation, how we manage the governance, how we execute the governance. First, that's a first concern. So if we are able to carry out this kind of the governance, that means we can always keep the requirement listened by the most of the people in the community and execute the upgrades. For example, right now the TPS, we start with 50, as we say, but actually the real TPS is like a couple hundreds we can make. But if the requirement, if let's say the applications running more and more on the VeChain store, we need like 1,000 or 2,000, even 10,000 TPS. So we just say, okay, let's vote, and once the decision has been made, we can just launch the upgrades for each authority node, and just let's do it. So we can more TPS. So most of the blockchain networks right now are claiming or fighting like, I have like 10 times of TPS than Ethereum, or 20 times, or 100 times, or whatever. But actually, asking that kind of question, like how much TPS you have, I would ask a different question. Is like how much TPS you are expecting. More application, they will have more requirement about the TPS, and we just do it.
So you guys handle all the kind of TPS speed. You guys can meet the the TPS speed requirements for the each the situation, right? If some so our enterprise they want to maybe 20,000, not 20,000 too much, maybe some 3,000 TPS, something like that, right? And you guys can meet their some requirement, right? Demands.
So it's like any kind of new technology. The requirement is always is chasing after the technology development. Honestly, I don't think the technology is the issue always. I think the application or the requirement will drive the technology, will force the technology evolve. So our mindset, or our philosophy is not really, like any typical or traditional crypto project. We believe we should have a use case to guide the product, and the product to guide the technology, not the other way.
So basically, but to to execute that level of technology, this is kind of some some basic question. So how many developers working for the some VeChain foundations at this moment right now?
Actually, we got the entire VeChain team is like 85 people.
Wow.
We got around 50-ish in the technical side, but not everybody working in the blockchains. Actually, you just asked a very right question to, let's say, the third concern. or
Yeah.
most of enterprise have. So let's jump to the number three.
Okay. Okay. That's good. Yeah.
So the number three concern from most of the enterprise is right now every public blockchain is kind of like naked blockchain, which is just like open source, and you as normal user or any kind of user, you download the codes from GitHub, you compile by yourself, you set up the nodes, and if you want to build up application, you got to build up everything from scratch.
Yeah.
To most of the enterprise, they will prefer solution other than technology itself.
Oh, okay.
They want comprehensive solution to solve the
yeah.
to attack some pain points of the business use cases. So it's like I can give you a figure of speech. It's like you're building up a freeway. You don't just build up the roads. You also need like gas station, restrooms, emergency line, that kind of a public services.
Oh, okay.
So our solution is we're going to provide not only the blockchain core, but also public services and public tools.
So basically, you guys kind of provide total solutions to the enterprise, from the building the VeChain and the maintain stuff, you know what I mean, and even provide some kind of marketing kind of solution for the
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as a foundation role, let's say as a VeChain foundation, we're gonna be the one to ignite the fire, but we want to promote or encourage the community can work with us, to provide more tools or more services to allow the enterprise to build up applications. Because when we talk to those enterprises, you cannot imagine the enterprise want to set up like smart contract team in their own team. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Right? Like the technologies.
Yeah, that's right.
So one side, we're going to try to build up more tools or more public services. Like everybody can use that. For example, we are building up the KYC module we call VVID. We're building up the voting module, smart contract certifications, smart contract libraries, that kind of public service. Everybody can use that. On the other side, we are encouraging and even incubate some like small startup team who are willing to devote themselves to be the professional smart contract developers.
Okay.
So if someone like enterprise, they say, oh, I want to build up some applications, I need a support from smart contract developers, and then they can find like, oh, I can have 5 or even 10 different teams I can select. I can talk to them, like select different vendors. And not only we try to incubate the small startups, but actually we're talking to some big players in the traditional IT consulting or IT service providers. For example, like, I cannot say some name.
Okay.
Leak the information. But for example, like our partner, like PwC, right? They have IT consultants, that kind of services as well. They are willing to convert some of them to support smart contracts.
So this is a very silly question, though. Who can you explain about the PwC? Yeah.
It's a PricewaterhouseCoopers. One of the big fours.
Oh, big fours.
For audit firm.
Oh, okay.
EY, PwC.
Oh, I see. So one of the big, yeah. Okay. Hold on, sir. Because I want the user to know what the PwC means. So PwC is the.
It's one of the famous big fours. They are doing lots of auditings, consulting services, for many different customers.
So PricewaterhouseCoopers.
Yes,
Coopers,
PricewaterhouseCoopers.
Oh my God! I want to show this one too, briefly to our users, so they can see what the PwC is. You know what I mean? So the total revenue 2017 was the $37.7 billion, right? Yeah. I just want to make sure people know that in case. Yeah. Okay. This is a very silly question. Yeah, go on, sir. I also the lighting stuff. The lighting. There was some little bit some problem. Feel like hold on, the lighting has a little bit problem. Sorry. So, okay.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I mean, this is when we go to those different enterprises, they want to have a public services tools, and also they want to like professional services to work with. They don't want to work with some like technical geeks or who only focus on the technical stuff but don't have a business mindset or deep business insights. Honestly, I really think my schedule in the past, before I start VeChain, I was the CIO of Louis Vuitton China. Basically, I'm building up I'm acting as a bridge between the business and the technical. I know how business people think about the technology.
Okay.
They would prefer solutions. Even technology is so cool, but they need to understand how they're gonna solve the real problems. Are they just being cool?
Yeah, that's right. So I'm gonna ask you some important questions. So,
Sure, go ahead.
yeah, VeChain partnership are just on a different level in terms of the revenue and size. It's a different level. Like the PwC is the 37.7 billion company, right? And that's one of the example. And we noticed that a lot of them are companies owned by Chinese governments. And is the Chinese government quite supportive of the VeChain project in general?
Yeah. Actually, the Chinese government support the blockchain applications like in general. By end of 2016, the Chinese government released a 5 years national plan. It states two technologies as a highlight. One is artificial intelligence, another one is blockchain. But what Chinese government actually, I think for most of the governments in the world, they're gonna support the blockchain technology to how to solve the real problems, how to help the people to make the world better, how to improve the efficiency or reduce the cost for most of the enterprise, how to enhance the collaborations between different players in different industries or different use cases. So we are quite aligned what they do, what they want. So in 2017, we got a case, to build up the traceability solution for DIG. DIG is one of the biggest wine importer in China. They represent like 30% of wine importing to China market, and they want to show to the customers like, yeah, this wine is from French wineries, from whatever, from South Africa, Argentina, or Australia, and what kind of a process the wine has been through, and to show the quality and assurance to the consumers, like it's safe to drink, it's legit.
Yeah.
You pay the right taxes, clear with the custom, go through the right process with inspection and quarantine, the kind of government departments. So this case actually got a reward from a Chinese government. It's one of the national program actually.
And then that the Chinese government is very supportive, and VeChain organization has the great relationship with the Chinese government. That's very encouraging. People should know that the VeChain organizations has great relationship with the Chinese government. And let's switch the gears, and I'm gonna ask the other question though. VeChain English community has so much faith and confidence in general, right? And as well as this upcoming ICO, BitOcean. So can you tell us what it is and why we should expect some revolutionary movement from the BitOceans? Yeah.
Well, actually, BitOcean is just one of the projects.
Okay.
But I say that too early in public. I say that in February. But honestly, I was quite excited about the project of BitOcean. They are really legitimate people. They go through the team is very, how can I say that? For example, I know the CEO Nanning for a while and for years, and he's also our official advisor. He's actually chief advisor of VeChain Foundation. He has been in the blockchain and Bitcoin community in China since 2012. He's like really one of the earliest adopters in China market. He knows lots of people. He has lots of connections in the industry. And also the CTO, Professor Zhou. Professor Zhou is actually, the professor in Michigan State University. He's writing about the H chain, the kind of documents, and also the DDV, data vending protocol, that kind of thing. He has been devoted himself into the artificial intelligence recognition computing for like more than 15 years.
Wow.
Those are really good people. And also in terms of the exchanges, honestly, there are thousands of crypto exchange in the world. But honestly, from any user point of view, people are really looking for the different user interfaces or different user experiences. And they want a like more secure environment to trade. And also lots of, the different stuff about the different exchanges, like very higher listing fees, very suspicious activities, or lots of the bad stuff right now in the market.
Okay.
And I really wish, I really want and expect the BitOcean team can create something really new. Forget about the money stuff. Forget about the profits or trading fees or listing fees. Just devote themselves and focus on how to build up a platform, make people feel more secure and more like comfortable to trade in that kind of exchange.
So wow. So basically, the BitOcean is the kind of the exchange, cryptocurrency exchange, on the top of the VeChain, some ecosystem, right?
Exactly.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
I kind of feel, let's say VeChain is going to be very big ecosystem with lots of projects running on that, not only from a crypto space, but also from traditional world, like different enterprise. So some of the project will have a trading requirement. And BitOcean will be the one dedicated to VeChain ecosystem and to support the projects running on the VeChain ecosystem for trading services.
Wow. So
yeah.
So starting from the BitOceans, there are a bunch of the other kind of some great VeChain project. It will come out, right, in the long run eventually. Yeah.
Actually, we are right now we don't really spend so much time on finding or seeking for projects because the project is really flooding to us.
Oh, okay.
We got around 25 to 30 in the queue right now.
Wow.
But we don't want to firstly, VeChain is open source. It's a public blockchain. Anybody can launch a project on that. But also, like I mentioned, most of the blockchain is like a freestyle or decentralized, and you do whatever you want to do, but lack of support. When the project team, either small startups or like established companies, when they're looking for some technical support or community support, they don't know who can contact or who can provide the support.
Yeah.
So the VeChain Foundation want to do something different. We wanted to help those projects with legitimate business and even have like the real commercial activities in the real world, and to launch the ICO or even non-ICO project on VeChain Store, but with very strong support from foundation. Not only from technical, but also from community, marketing, PR, operations, all of the stuff. So basically, we're providing incubation services to those promising projects.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Because we're targeting, those projects or enterprises. They already have a commercial, like traditional activities in a traditional world. They want to be blockchainized. They want to be cryptonized. They want to leverage the blockchain technology to enhance the functionality of services to the users. But they are not really familiar with the crypto space. They don't know how to run it in the crypto space. And then we can help them.
So you guys also incubate the blockchain startup from the VeChain, the public blockchain ecosystem. Also provide a total kind of some blockchain solutions to the enterprise, right? can catch the the both in the business area. That's amazing. So let's switch the gear a little bit. Though, this is kind of very good movement to the some the users, the people who have interest in the VeChain projects. So VeChain released the financial some document, executive summary again yesterday. There is no other cryptocurrency that I know has ever done that besides the VeChain. What is the background for the such board decisions?
Sorry, I didn't catch the question.
Yeah. So VeChain released the financial documents, the financial the executive the summary yesterday, right? Yeah. Right. So what's the behind? What is the background for such decisions?
Actually, it's already. I think it's the third quarter we released that kind of financial reports. To me, honestly, the ICO projects is kind of like IPO projects. You got so many different investors or let's say supporters around the world to support you.
Okay.
And you wanted to comply with that kind of the ideas or insights. Want to be totally transparent.
Okay.
And also to show the confidence to our investors, like we are using whatever the budget we're using, to make it to the right course to develop and help the VeChain system ecosystem grow. It's actually in the number 3 now. We actually starting from ICO, we work with one of our partners. I even made a jokes to them like, wow, half joke, half serious. Like, even I know there is no regulation right now in the crypto space for any kind of ICO projects, but I want our partner to do that kind of internal auditing to us to, use a requirement or regulation of like a SOX, like the IPO companies to require us.
Wow.
To make sure, we do everything in the right way, to show to all of our supporters and investors, like, we are doing the right thing. So I'm not really hiding anything. We are not really hiding anything. We want to show to the people, like, how we're going to do. Not only about, the ETH we raise to build up the, like, normal cost, the normal budget for the project, but also we share, the VeChain tokens movement as well, to show everybody, like, how we manage that, how we the transparency is really important to our blockchain communities. We hope, all of the supporters, all of the investors in the world are able to, to trust us. We'll make sure everything we can to make the VeChain ecosystem grows.
Oh, okay. So that is the great decision to to be transparent to the VeChain holder and people who believe in the VeChain products. Hopefully the other the cryptocurrency the projects they follow the VeChain kind of transparency about their financial kind of document stuff, because that's gonna be really important for the investors. So okay, so have you it's time. We spend so much time to interview right now. So, have you anything else to say to the Korean crypto community? Lastly,
I really appreciate. Actually, we were listed in Bitstamp like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Not really a long time in Korea, but our CEO Kevin has been visit Seoul for like a couple of times. Attended some fantastic seminars and meetups. We feel really a very good support and passion from the Korean community. I really wanted to say thank you to everyone in Korea community who support us, and I come for you guys support in the future. And also, I'm calling for the developers or startup teams, young and talented fellows in Korean country to try to build up the real applications on VeChain store, and we're gonna provide support. Also, we're working on some plan to build up the community team, or let's say more organize the community team in Korea, to support you guys. So just wait for it, and I'm sure we can do something together.
Wow.
Maybe.
Yeah, that sounds great. Some the plan. Basically, you guys to try to to provide a full resource to the Korean cryptocurrency community. If somebody want to start up some blockchain product in Korea, the Korean people, they can build their new projects on the top of the VeChain Thor like that, right? Also provide the other resource. Okay, thank you, sir. It was a great interview, and I hopefully I will deliver some, I will keep some deliver the great message about the VeChain to the Korean community. Yeah. I think now Korean people will know that VeChain is not just tracking logistic. Yeah, VeChain is the building the whole new public blockchain ecosystem, and even the people can do the ICO on the VeChain, the blockchain. Yeah, that's the basically the library of the Ethereum. Yeah, it's the upgraded version of the Ethereum. Yeah. That's amazing.
Go to see more details in the white paper. You will have nice surprise. We have lots of advanced functionalities. Comparing Ethereum or the other public blockchains.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. The sharing your very. I know you're very busy. Oh, thank you so much, sir. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.